How do you buy your tickets for the big shows?
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Taco Comfort Solutions.
So our state legislature is trying to expand your options online, and those who actually put on the performances are more than skeptical about the legislation that has been proposed. We've got the boss of the PPAC here to explain to you that you may want to think twice, and the word fraud comes out pretty readily from his lips, which always gives us pause. Welcome in. Great to have you aboard. Thanks for tuning in on this Wednesday evening. Lots going on in Washington. Well, forget the Mueller report. Let's just do health care right now. Maybe the Democrats have learned from previous experience that people are more interested in stuff that matters to them. Headline here. And I think this package from the network will at least give you some of the broad strokes on what the new controversy is.
The move by the Trump administration is a slap in the face to American families, a devastating blow.
In its latest effort to get rid of Obamacare, the Trump administration has filed a legal motion to have it completely struck down. The president says Americans who rely on those benefits should be confident.
Let me just tell you exactly what my message is. The Republican Party will soon be known as the party of health care. You watch.
But Democrats are not so sure. The sticking point is coverage for pre-existing conditions. Nearly 20 million Americans rely on the law for coverage, and millions more benefit from the law's patient protections. In the legal filing, the Justice Department sided with a federal judge who ruled the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional based on the insurance mandate. Should that ruling stand, the entire law would be struck down.
They say they're going to protect pre-existing conditions as a benefit, pre-existing condition as a benefit, and then they go to court to strip it and strip the whole bill.
If Obamacare were to be invalidated, insurers would not be required to cover pre-existing conditions. White House officials insist President Trump will work to keep patient protections in place.
Now, I'm not sure the Republicans actually bargained for this. The federal judge in Texas is the one that said, look, if there's no penalty, remember the penalty? If there's no penalty for not taking health insurance, well, that is kind of like the underpinning, the foundational economic equation of the entire American Affordable Care. Well, it's the Affordable Care Act, and we know it as Obamacare, right? And so the Trump administration in court, from the appellate court, said, yeah, that's a ticket. We're with that. And so now they're in a situation where they may have to race against the clock to actually provide an alternative plan. Because the court could actually just say, all the way up through the Supreme Court, you know what, flush this thing because we don't buy the financial equation anymore. But everything that is all Obamacare that we know would go down the toilet with that, right? Here's the thing. Republicans think that by doing a block grant program, which gives money to states for their discretion on protecting all the things that are protected now, including pre-existing conditions, kids up to 26 and all that kind of stuff, would be a better idea. I'm open to that idea. I think there might be some financial benefits in that. We are married to Obamacare in a big way here in Rhode Island with our health care exchange. There are 30,000 people who have decided to buy health care insurance right through the exchange. And then there's another 70,000 that have expanded their Medicaid. Know this, in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, we are already by law protected against losing our coverage for pre-existing conditions. So before you get your panties in a bundle about this whole thing, do a little research and understand that it's about process. The Republicans, though, have got to hurry and come up with an alternative plan, or they're going to be 11 feet out on a 10-foot board with a court decision that may wash Obamacare out with nothing washing back in. That's really where this whole thing is. All right, on a local level, this has been a lingering story, and there's a reason why I wanted to note this from the court yesterday.
Ms. Moore, so what do you say to the taxpayers in North Providence? Silence from Bridget Morisseau as she left court Tuesday, charged with 2 felonies related to allegations she used her North Providence School Department credit card to pay for hotel rooms, airfare, and $2,000 to a spa while she was superintendent.
It didn't sit well with me, so I can imagine how it did not sit well with the taxpayers of this town as well.
Police Chief David Tokoyan says police received an audit of Morisseau's finances from the town in September and used that in their investigation.
Certainly the audit that the school committee provided us with is a part of the investigation, and we did use some of the information in there.
The police affidavit says they found $4,600 worth of charges on the card that were personal expenses, and an additional $7,000 worth of charges that police were not able to classify. Have you paid restitution? Neither Morisseau nor her lawyer would say if she's paid the money back. The affidavit says, quote, she never made any effort to reimburse the school department during her tenure as superintendent. It was only after this case was heavily covered in the media that 3 checks were received by the school committee.
All right, now you think you're going to get some analysis on this story from me, right? No. We'll let it play out, let the courts decide. Here's my message, and I keep telling people this, no matter whether they're charged with something little tiny or something really big. Do not do the perp walk. Do not come out of the courthouse and race against the pursuing press. Come out of the courtroom and say, hi, I know you want to comment from me. There's not much I can say. What I've said in the courtroom more or less stands for what I think. My attorneys are going to say this and that. I really can't give you much else, but I really do appreciate you asking. And if you don't mind now, I'm going to go to my car. Which leaves the press going, oh, okay, well, we got our comment and we're good. Because when you do that, that runs on the television for 24, 36 hours, and an ensuing story is to follow. And everybody who sees you at the Stop and Shop now says, boy, you must be a criminal because you walk away from the press when you leave a courtroom. It just isn't smart. And by the way, not for nothing, not that I want to pick, but I don't know who that dude was, husband, boyfriend, legal guardian, or manhandler. You don't toss your pal, your female pal, across and do this routine, okay? It's 2019. Come on. Anyway, beach fees, you're saved. You said no. The governor proposed yes. The legislature said, well, freeze them for 3 years because we don't want to deal with the people on beach fees. And so the campers are going to get socked. I don't do a lot of camping around here, but if you were getting away with murder with the camping fees, guess what? They got you. And that's how they're going to pay for the beaches and the alleged upgrades that were going to come with the beach fee hike. We'll see how the garbage is picked up and whether the shower is worth going into or whether you go. And here's the headline of the conversation that we're talking about tonight. We'll have a short conversation with the president of the PPAC and then lay into this a little bit. Mr. Singleton, it is a pleasure to have you aboard. You don't like this idea very much, do you? This idea that would lift the lid on resale of performance tickets in Rhode Island, meaning I'm just going to go online and pay for these highly acclaimed shows that allegedly are difficult to get into, get my barcode sheet or whatever, and charge. Welcome, but good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. Good afternoon.
Give me your 60-second executive summary on what you're worried about, then we'll dig in a little bit.
Yeah, as I always say, the internet is a blessing and a curse. And people are busy, and there's a lot of bad actors in the ticketing game who, for many ways, pretend to be us and aren't. Will deceive the patron and deceive the public into thinking they have access or have in their hands tickets that they don't have, and are charging prices for tickets, even if they do have them, that are way above the existing law. They're breaking the law. And most people, what happens then is people, they think they bought the ticket from us or in that manner, and then they get to the building and they find out either the tickets don't exist or the tickets aren't where they said they'd be, and et cetera, et cetera. So then we become what I call their customer service department, because when people come to PPAC or the Civic Center, they don't really differentiate. It's the building. It's you got to help them, and they're our patrons, and they come back. So it's a difficult issue, and if nothing else, this bill and the conversation that's happened around it particularly as it deals with Hamilton, which is, you know, it's like the Super Bowl of Broadway shows that are going to be here this summer. It's, I think, put it on people's radars, and they begin to ask questions. They say, well, the first question they ask me is, well, what should I do? I say, wherever you're buying a ticket.
Hold on. That's a great, you know, we're in show business here.
Okay.
What should I do?
What should I do?
When we come back, you'll find out. Stay with us. So this excellent Eyewitness News story kind of gives you the basis for the conversation.
Tickets to Hamilton at PPAC haven't gone on sale yet, but if you search online,
One website is selling tickets for $1,900, and the other one ticket, and the other website is selling it for $2,900. They don't exist. It's fraud.
PPAC's Lynn Singleton says ticket resellers regularly take advantage of consumers.
It's an issue we deal with constantly.
So does the Dunk.
We actually see tickets being sold for sections that don't exist.
Now, Attorney General Peter Nerona is warning consumers to be careful when they go online to buy tickets.
And you think you're buying a ticket in a particular row, and you're buying it for, frankly, many times a really high price. And what you're really buying is a promise, hopefully a promise by that broker, to try to get you that ticket. But you don't know that. You think you're getting the ticket. I think that practice is inherently deceptive.
So Nerona says he's investigating the issue and may take legal action against bad brokers under the state's Deceptive Trade Practices Act.
I'm very concerned about it.
You can also protect yourself. Your best bet is to buy tickets directly through the venue. But if you want to buy them online, confirm with the venue that the tickets are actually on sale and check to make sure the ticket offer includes seating details.
So, you know, Susan's consumer report there is advisory. It doesn't tell the story of the StubHubs and the others who are trying to advance a different conversation. So let's stay where we were, answer the question a la the flavor of that story, which is, again, what you should not do and what you should do, which is where we left it. And then we're going to go backwards a little bit and talk about what the legislature is contemplating. So we left it in what you should do when you're buying any ticket, and what is viable in your mind online.
Well, actually, the first thing to do, make sure you're dealing, regardless of what venue you're going to, whether it be us, the Dunk, the Boston Gardens, the Opera House in Boston, make sure you're dealing with the venue. Go directly to the source, because it's like anything. If you don't go directly to the source, you're going through layers, and even if they legitimately have the ticket, you're paying more for the ticket. And with our case, PPAC's very unique in that we're the only theater north in New York. You can actually pick up the phone and call 421 Arts, and we answer the phone. Most other theaters across the New England area have a vendor that sells their tickets, and in most cases it's Ticketmaster. And that phone is being answered in Albany, New York. But our professional philosophy has always been, we didn't want to put a vendor between us and our patron, and it's worked well for us. We service about 350 to 400,000 people a year. So if we have a problem with a patron, it's kind of like Pogo. We've seen the enemy, it's us. We can't blame Ticketmaster. So people here have a unique opportunity. If they have any kind of issue, in a moment they can call the building, we answer the phone, we attempt to solve the problem and make that work. With us, once again, we have a proprietary website, ppacri.org. The challenge with websites is a lot of the brokers who have enormous resources buy positions on websites. And if you go to those websites, it looks like us. It has everything but my picture doing, a message from the building. But it has pictures of the building, it had our show. You would think it was us. Now, I sometimes wonder, Google's a publicly traded company, and if they're selling positions to folks who are committing fraud on those websites, is that the appropriate way that they should be doing business? I mean, I always just wonder that. Now, we buy a position, but we don't have the enormous resources of a company like StubHub, for example. StubHub is owned by eBay. eBay is a publicly traded company. Ticketmaster is owned by Live Nation. These are publicly traded companies. They aren't someone sitting in their pajamas in Yugoslavia trying to pretend like they're me selling a ticket.
Okay. StubHub legit, yes or no?
In our case, we have issues with them on the tickets they sell because they're selling tickets that don't exist. I can only comment as far as regards to PPAC.
So the legislative idea here is to lift the ceiling on what really is a scalping law for all intents and purposes. Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure out, and have not yet been able to get Bob Craven from North Kingstown, who's sponsoring this bill, that would lift the $3 or 10% above face value limit that exists right now for resale. I guess the StubHubs of the world are suggesting that the cost of doing business, buying the tickets, reselling the tickets, shipping tickets, whatever, supersedes what the cap is on resale. Okay. I guess there's an impression that those websites are legitimate and are doing business on a cost-prohibitive basis. You don't seem very empathetic to that argument.
No, because in most cases they don't have the tickets. I'll give you a prime example. We have Phantom of the Opera. Hamilton's kind of the outlier commercially, but we have Phantom of the Opera right now for 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks of Phantom. We have almost 50,000 tickets. A couple of weeks ago, we were at the General Assembly. We had sold 15,000 of those 50,000 tickets. So there are lots of tickets available. StubHub had a Phantom ticket, mid to rear orchestra, for sale for $263. PPAC is selling that same ticket for $63. I will bet the ranch in Texas that I don't have, that StubHub doesn't have that ticket. All they're simply going to do, if they've deceived you to believe they are the official.
Once you commit, they'll go buy it.
Yeah, because what happens is once you give them your credit card, they've got you. And what I always tell people, because we'll get, the sad story, they'll call me up and I'll say, well, especially if it's American Express, because I don't know about Visa or MasterCard, reverse it, and then we'll sell you a ticket. But it won't be the exact same location, but it'll be similar. Mm-hmm. So those people are they're getting fished.
But when you go on those services, I mean, you literally will be, even in the football stand, baseball stand, basketball stand, section 218, row X, seats 7 and 8. And boom, it comes right up, and you think you're buying those seats.
Years ago, we did a Norah Jones date. I was a big Norah Jones fan. She won all those Grammys. And because PPAC buys the talent. We promote the show, we take the risk, we make $1, we lose $1, and hope at the end of the day it works out for the best. So I was so happy. We got Norah Jones right at the Grammys. I just got the deal done. Hadn't even signed the contract. For some reason, I went on one of these websites. They were already selling our tickets with exact locations. So I called the box office. I'm like chewing the box office manager up. And this is when I realized, these people are committing fraud. This is illegal. The box office manager says, Lynn, that doesn't exist. They don't exist. But you don't know that. You just know my wife wants to go see Norah Jones.
Before we actually take a look at what's going on at PPAC this year, which is always an important conversation, what are you doing in terms of the lobby on this lifting the scalping / resale ticket price bill? Are you active? Are you in discussions with the legislature? What is your projection about the chance of this passing?
Well, we obviously have testified in both bodies, I think. I think I was there for one of them. The other one.
What's the vibe you were getting up there?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you're not talking about something strange and unusual for the people in the room. And I was interesting at whatever committee it was, the gentleman who was either the vice chair or the chairman, who I can't remember his name, he asked StubHub, how do you get all the tickets? But I think he was referring to Red Sox and Patriots. I mean, I don't know.
Probably looking for a pair.
Yeah, well, he was just curious. How do you get all these seats? But I just, I'm a kind of a practical, pragmatic Midwesterner. I always look at it, say, if I was in the General Assembly, why would I pass a law that would negatively impact my constituents and make them pay more for a price for a ticket to go see an event? That I just would not make sense. But there's no political, there's no political logic to that.
I'm guessing you asked that rhetorical question when you were there.
I don't know if I did specifically, but I think.
So you don't have a vibe? Did anybody
I'm
in the hallways?
I'm cautiously optimistic, and of course we put together the coalition of all the usual list of suspects: Twin Rivers, the Dunk, and plus two, you have the Attorney General who steps up,
weighing in on an investigative level
and saying this is a bad idea.
Okay, all right.
That's helpful.
Just be aware, and this is a learning lesson for you. What you think you're buying tangibly on these websites may very well not be the case. We are making an effort to get those companies to talk to us here, and we'll let you know about that. By the way, this is going to be a good year for the PPAC. Stay tuned. Lots going on at PPAC. You got a good series. We only have a couple minutes, but tell us real quick about what's happening.
Well, this year we're in the middle of our year. We're doing what we're doing. We're doing a special of Phantom. We're rolling to a special of Book of Mormon. We do on our Broadway series Waitress. We open the national tour of The Band's Visit, which won the Tony for Best Musical in New York last year in the late June. And then, of course, we do Hamilton for 3 weeks in the last week of July.
And interesting, you say that you hold off the actual on sale now close to show.
Hamilton will not go on sale to, at best, late spring, probably more likely early summer.
In part because of the conversation we had previously had.
Yeah.
Both the production and you guys try to keep the thing close to the vest so that you don't have these messes, correct?
And we have 3 weeks of the show. The amount of demand for the show is just going to be enormous.
Nothing you're doing that, which I think is cool. Can we put this headline up? You're sending kids to the theater, and you've got a fund that does that. Brilliant. You know what? Because it'll create an orientation, right? 10th graders come, see, experience, and maybe as young adults will do it on their own.
Well, this was an idea which came from our board and our Chairman Walsh. And, the community's been very good to us. We moved the wall in the mid-'90s, and we raised about $15–20 million to renovate the place in various times. So this is kind of our, participation back to the community. And we're building audiences for the future. And so 3 times a year, next year, we had a beta test last week with Phantom. We'll bring 3,000 kids in to see a show. And not only will you pay for the ticket, we'll pay for the buses to get them there and back.
Perfect. Well, look, it's our jewel. One of the many we can talk about, one everyone talks about. Just know when you're going to the jewel for a show that you should be very careful about getting to it. You'll do all you can to make good at the door.
Absolutely.
But this audience has got no excuse. You've been warned, for crying out loud. Buy direct. That's the message, right? Buy direct. All right. Good luck this year, with Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate Noah guy experience, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like riding the bull. Riding the bull.
Final word when we come back. Stay with us. All right, so listen, you're warned on the ticket stuff. Now, we've got a lot of fluid issues going on at our General Assembly this year, including but not limited to the legalization of marijuana that has law enforcement all over the map. The Police Chiefs Association says absolutely not. The superintendent of the state police, who is due here on the program shortly, is trying to work with the Raimondo administration to make this whole thing work, and the inevitability that we're going to be cornered by Connecticut and Massachusetts. The communities have their own perspective, and the League of Cities and Towns will be represented here tomorrow to talk about that and some of the other challenges that our communities have. So make a note of that. We'll talk to you on the radio as well at 3 until 6 on WPRO. Pleasure having you. Thanks. Good night.